actually have no idea why I'm doing all this, but I'll give you a little backdrop story on all this. Um, this is sometime back I was reading this book called Millionaire Mind, and it just encouraged me to do so much more with my life. Of course, past few years I've structured my life based on the models I've followed in my life, and I thought it just on a Sunday, just chit chat with some of you, share with you whatever I've learned over so many years, and definitely life is a big blessing today. And it was anyways a blessing, but today I just feel so much more grateful for being richly blessed, and time to kind of give back, just share some of the things that I've followed in my life, things that has helped me and so many around us, just to look at life a little differently, right? So what I want to do is just kind of talk to you guys a little bit about success, talk a little bit about money, share a little bit about whatever I know, a thing or two about success, and we'll rock and roll from there, right? First thing first, everybody's definition of success is different. For a father, just to be a good dad to his kids might be success for him. For a teacher, just to deliver a good lecture and take care of her kids may be success for them. So success is a very personal, it's a personal everyone has a very personal definition to success, so you should not let someone else force a definition on you. So whoever you are, whatever you feel makes you feel happy, makes you feel successful, that's who it is, that's what it is going to be for you, right? But whether you like it or not, we live in a world that runs on money. Sure, we can always say what is more important, money is more important or love is more important, but that's weird comparison. It's like saying what is more important, an arm or a leg. We need both, right? So you need love, you need money, you need so many other things beyond love and money. But today we want to talk a little bit about this very important thing called money that everybody chases, but nobody wants to accept that they need to learn a little bit more about money. Okay. First thing first, money is just an energy. It is just an energy. It's nothing more than that. There's trillions of dollars circulating around the world. Why would it go into certain hands, certain pockets? Is because of the energy that you portray and energy that you protrude, right? So, and the problem is this: the kind of blueprint that you have in your mind about money, the kind of programming that you have, is going to decide how well you're going to do financially for yourself or not. Okay, and the logic of money is great, but your deep rooted emotions about money is going to decide what you're going to be able to do with your life or not. Okay, it's like this: your programming your programming decides what kind of thoughts you're going to have, and your thoughts will generate feelings for you, and those feelings will generate an action for you, and those actions, they determine the results. So if you're not liking the results that you have in your life right now, it's not your actions that suck. It's not that your feelings are not good. It's the problem is right there, starting with the programming, the way you have seen money in your life. And for me, I remember I used to feel money is this unbelievable pious thing that only few would have. I used to feel that money brings in happiness, because I saw my family very happy when they made more money, and when there was lack of money, everybody was sour. So I was programmed like that money brings in happiness, and you have to work hard for money. So some of those things I actually want to break it down for you today, because if you grew up in a household that say, oh, you just work hard and you'll be successful and you'll be happy and you'll be rich, here's a good or a bad news for you, that principle may not work for you. If hard work was the only way to make it to riches, then a guy who's actually digging ditches on the road, he should be the most successful person, but he ain't. Okay, and the reason is there are two laws to money, right? There are multiple things we're going to talk about, but there's two things that you got to understand. There are inner laws of money, and then there are outer laws of money. There are inner laws of success, and then there are outer laws of success, right? Outer laws of money are you being good at your craft, you being able to set goals and accomplish it, you being a hard worker, you being the best in what you do, right? Whatever your craft is. Let's say you're an IT programmer, you're best in that, and people will pay you millions of dollars for it. Those are the outward laws of money. Just the proficiency, your skills, that's the outside laws of money. But then there are inner laws of money. It's the blueprint that you carry about money. Things that you do, things like gratitude, things about of giving, all those things, they govern the inner laws of success, right? Now here's what happens. Most people, they look at the results and they try to fix their results, but they never try to fix the root cause of it. It's like if I type up something on my document and I send a print, and then when I get the print, if I see there's a typo, I could do two things. One is I could take that print out and I could be like, oh, this is a spelling mistake, that's a typo. I could white ink it and write on top of it and then go hit another print. Guess what's going to happen? The second print is still going to have the same mistake. It's going to still have the same typo because I fixed the outcome, but I never fixed the income of it, like incoming document. So similarly in life, if your results don't fall in place, you cannot just cover up your results. You cannot fix your results. You just cannot ignore it. Can't just push it under the rug and say one day it's going to be fine. You have to go and change the roots or the root cause of it so that you can actually get to where you want to get to, right? So having given you a little bit idea on what we're going to talk about, let's dive into this one thing about how do you start reprogramming yourself, and why is that reprogramming about money so important, right? If you are in a household, if you're in a home and you don't like the temperature of your home, what are you going to do? You can either leave the house and go do something weird, or you go to the thermostat and you set the thermostat, right? The temperature in your home is decided by the value that you set on the thermostat. Similarly, your bank balance is just a reflection of the thermostat that you set in your mind about money. Your results are just the value that you set in your thermostat of your mind about money, about life, about health, about success, right? So let's talk about the 17 operating principles that I know of rich and successful people. People that I have met, folks who have experienced great amount of results and success. What are some of their operating principles, right? So here's the first one, which I found very interesting. Rich, they live by this principle called as I create my own life, versus rest of the world, they feel life happens to them, right? And that's the reason you will see people who are in that victim mentality. They always complain. They're always about, oh, poor me, this didn't happen, that happened to me, I was trying hard but this didn't work out for me. And the reason some people have that mentality is because they're trying to seek that sympathy from others, and they confuse sympathy is equivalent to love. When someone feels sympathetic to you, not necessarily they like you, not necessarily that attention is equal to love. And a lot of people, they feel just because somebody's sympathetic to me, I can just continue to live in this mentality of poor me. They have this victim mentality. Life happens to me. Oh, I was just trying to be a nice guy and then I got laid off. No, you didn't get laid off because you are not a nice person. Maybe your results were not to the mark where they're supposed to be, right? And here's what happens. More you complain, you actually become a living and a breathing crap magnet. You start attracting more weird stuff in your life because you complain a whole lot about things in your life. And these are the people who actually rely on others to pick their name from a hat and say, oh, you won the lottery, rather than being a rich person who says, I take charge in my life, I create my own life. And they live by this principle called as bending reality. Your reality may not look good, but you work towards bending it so that it looks the way you want it to look. And that's the reason, if you come from a standpoint of victimhood, oh, I'm not good, these things were not gifted to me, I'm born in a certain household, all those negative programming will actually never help you move forward. But the day you start living from a principle or a standpoint of I create my own life, your life will actually start opening floodgates for you, right? So don't be a crap magnet, be a good magnet. Talk good, say good, do good things. You'll actually attract much better things in your life, right? Number 2 operating principle of rich. Rich, they play to win. They play to win. There's a big difference between playing to win or playing not to lose, right? And when I say play to win, it means you shoot for the stars. You go for the stars. Even if you miss it, you'll at least hit the moon. Versus you staying in your comfort zone. Your goals, sometimes people, when they set their goals based on who they are today, because they don't want to expand themselves. And they know the moment they have bigger goals in life, it's going to force them to expand. It's going to force them to do more with their life, and they don't feel confident doing that. If your goal is to be comfortable, you can forget about being rich. But if your goal is to be rich, you will end up being mighty comfortable. right? So comfort will never create the riches for you, but the riches will create comfort. But to get to the riches, you'll have to become a little uncomfortable. So you play the life on the front foot. You go on the aggression. You go not with the mentality, I don't want to lose. You say, I'm going to leave everything on the field. I'm going to fight for it no matter what. Okay, that's called playing to win versus not to lose. Right. Number 3 operating principle: rich, they commit to be rich. Rest of the people, they want to be rich. And there's a big difference between commitment and wanting. Okay, and a lot of people don't want to commit to being rich is because they have this negative mindset of, what if I lose? What if I go out and tell the world that I'm going to put in this effort and I really work hard and I really try creating success, but if I fail, what will happen? What will my friends talk about me? What will they say? They will talk to me as if I'm nobody. So what we do is we relinquish our control. We give our control to somebody else. We are letting someone else stop us from becoming successful because we feel, if I commit and I lose, I'll actually lose my face. And most people, even if they commit for 2 straight days, and then the third night rolls out, they're like, I'm doing okay in my life. Guess I'm not that bad. And you might have seen yourself do it, or you might have seen so many people around you do it. They just cannot make up their mind. These are the folks who go on a diet for 3 days straight, and then the 4th day someone brings a cake and they go, oh yeah, I don't want to disappoint my friend, so I'm going to have this piece of cake. A bite of cake would have done it. Who said you have to have the half of the cake, right? So commitment is much different than just wanting to be successful. And the number one reason why people don't become successful is because they just cannot make up their mind. It's not that you cannot get what you want. The problem is most people don't even know what they want. And that's the reason they stay same old for the rest of their life. So when you commit, there is an amazing power that's bestowed upon you to make it happen. Right? Number 4, fourth principle that a lot of rich and successful live by. Rich people, they think big. They think so much beyond their own capacity that they force themselves to get there, versus thinking small. Okay, you have set a cap on yourself. A lot of people, they have this threshold that they've set for themselves. I can only do so much. I can only make so much money. If your threshold in your mind is set to $100,000, you will never make more than $100,000. If someone gives you $150,000, you will actually spend that 50 somewhere and you'll go back to your 100,000 because you cannot see yourself having that 150. If you cannot see yourself having $1 million, you'll actually never have that $1 million with you, right? Money is just a result of value that you bring to the marketplace. It's just the value that you create for others, right? Today, I don't have no agenda. My goal is just to create that value. Hopefully, I can add some value to you. But I'm not going to hold back saying, oh, let me just do little so that I don't overexpose myself. No, we all go with this mentality of think big and you do big and let the results fall in place for themselves, right? So you think big, never think small. Number 5 is rich, they focus on opportunities versus focusing on obstacles, right? And you will see, it's not like only poor people have problems or rich have no problems. Everybody has issues, everybody has problems. But the difference is this: rich, they look at every problem as an opportunity. Because when they look at every problem, they go, let me find out how can I break this into smaller steps so I can conquer this problem. So they find solution steps. And once those steps are ready, they just go full focused on it. And they focus on the steps or they focus on the solution versus worrying about the problem. Right? They are the folks who actually ready, fire, and then aim. Because half of the world is stuck in this thinking of, I just want to get ready and then I'll become successful. And they keep waiting year after year. They're getting older and they never take the aim. They never fire. And it's funny, I heard someone say this. Most people, they get ready and then they aim, and they aim, but they never fire because they don't want to miss the shot. Versus the rich people, they actually ready and they fire and they figure out when to aim because they feel and they believe in this: action beats inaction every single day. So they look at every obstacle as an opportunity and they focus on the solution rather than focusing on the problem, right? If your goal is to lose weight and it makes you feel great, you should not focus on the weight problem. You should actually find out, you should build a small system saying, hey, during my late nights, if I feel hungry, rather than having a burrito, I'm actually going to have some juice. I'm going to have some fruits. Maybe I'm going to eat an apple. Right? Everybody has heard this: an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But the timing of that apple is important as well. If you eat that apple when you're really hungry late in the night, and rather than eating a burrito or something weird, it'll actually save you so much of health issues. So you focus on the solution versus getting lost in the problem, right? Number six, this is a big one for me. When I read this, when I started pondering upon it, this is a huge one. Number 6 is rich. They admire rich people. They do not resent them. They don't have this thinking of, oh, he became rich because he was lucky. Oh, he became successful because he did some weird things. Nope, rich people actually admire other rich people because they understand whatever you resent, you're going to actually repel away from your life. Whatever you hate, things that you don't like, things that you give negative energy towards, you will never have in your own life. So this was a big one for me. When I started applying this one principle in my life, when I started cheering for others' success, when I genuinely started getting excited and happy for others' success, it was so weird. I started moving forward in my life as well. Okay. A lot of poor people or middle class, they think, oh, rich, they took all the money away. Oh, I would rather be moral person versus being rich. As if you are rich, you no longer have a moral fiber in you. That is weird way of thinking. So you always want to be a person who admire things that you want to have in your life, because whatever you bless, you will actually possess. So if you keep despising riches, you'll actually repel the riches, right? So that was number 6. Number 7, this is another big one. Rich, they associate with other rich people and even people who are richer than them. Why? Because they always want to find out new models of success. They want to find out new framework for success. They want to find out a new framework to move forward in their life. If one of your friends has coronavirus, would you go hug that person? I'm sure you would not. But he's your friend. And now you will actually counteract at me saying, oh, no, yeah, he's my friend, but I don't want to hug him because he has coronavirus. He's going to pass it on to me. For physical ailment, we are so careful. What about the coronavirus of mind? So many of your friends, so many of the people whom you hang out with, they're toxic. They complain, they criticize, they have opinion about everything, and they have no plan for their own life. Why would you hang around with them? They will actually give you the coronavirus of mind. There is a cure that's going to come out for coronavirus of physical body, but there is no cure for coronavirus of mind. You are the one who has to protect yourself, right? Other reason why rich want to hang around with other successful people is because they can get their framework. Have you done this in a notepad? If you're typing something, or in a Word, if you're typing something and you want the next segment to look like the previous segment, even if your fonts are misaligned, you go and you choose the format painter, and then you make sure your second segment looks like your first segment. That's exactly what rich do. They do their own work, but they get the format painter from somebody else, making sure their life is a good blueprint of somebody else's life. Okay, so associate with people who are far ahead of you. It may not be comfortable, but it's going to be very rewarding for you. Okay, number 8. This was another big one. I'm still working on this, and this is not this is not easy for me, but I've worked on it for myself. And this is a big one. It says, rich, they promote themselves. They promote themselves, and this is huge for me because I don't come from a household. Rather, I actually come from a household where they said, don't toot your own horn. Don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about your successes. Just point the finger at somebody else, which is important. You got to do that. But if you are not going to promote yourself, you'll always live small. Because the moment you start exposing yourself, moment you start promoting yourself, you start talking a little bit about yourself, you will find out you got to become a better person to continue talking about yourself. Right? So rich people, they're never shy of selling their values. Like, I'm not saying you sell your values for money. I'm saying they never are hesitant to talk about their values. They're very passionate about their vision. They're very comfortable in their own skin to talk about themselves and what mistakes they have done and where they are today and where they're heading towards. Right? They're very proud and confident to talk about their product or their work that they have done. Right? So another good skill to acquire. These are not God gifted things. These are skills that you can acquire and you can move forward as well. So try promoting yourself. Now, you don't want to sound like a bragger, like any opportunity you get, you start talking about how great you're doing. But sure, do promote yourself, because it puts you into the next level of being rich, right? Number 9, this is another good one. It says, rich, they are bigger than their problem. The rich people, they are bigger than their problems. Okay? They never try to run away from their problem, because they know life is nothing but a bag full of problems. But if I avoid every problem and I shrink, then I will actually become a smaller person. But if I see a problem that I cannot handle, I just ask myself, how do I grow myself so that I can handle this problem? If I am a person who is at level 5 and I see a problem at number 7, at level number 7, of course I'm going to be intimidated. Of course I would want to run away from that problem. But if I focus on myself and I get the tools and the equipment and whatever I need to face that problem, and if I can go to level 8, I can tackle that level 7 problem very easily. It's not going to be a challenge. So you always want to look at problem and say, I want to grow myself, I want to expand myself. People who are not rich, folks who are middle class or poor people, they look at every problem and then they curse, they complain, they say, why is God testing me? Okay? If you have a problem that's bigger than you, it just means you're a small person. So next time you try to complain about your problem, you just remind yourself, you are a mini person, you're mini me. If I see a problem and I'm scared of, I go, mini me. I am mini, I'm small. I got to become a major so that I can tackle my problems. Okay? So rich, they are bigger than their problems. They don't let the problem stop them. Right? Number 10, this is another good one, which I don't think so a lot of folks talk about when they talk about money and success and everything. Rich, they are excellent receivers. They're excellent receivers. Most people, they say, I will receive only if I work hard. Why? Because this has been ingrained into us, saying hard work is equal to success. If I don't do the work, I should not expect the rewards, which is true. But that does not mean that you cannot receive anything for the work that you just did today. Right? Let's say if you didn't do no work today, but you've been working for past 2 years, you should very happily receive the rewards. Right? And how do you know you're a good receiver? If someone gives you a compliment, you just say thank you and you receive it. And I've done this in the past. If someone said, hey KD, nice shirt, I go, oh yeah, this is just for $10. And I was so uncomfortable accepting even a compliment. Now, if someone gave me a gift, I'd be like, no, I don't need gifts, I'm good. So I'm obstructing this law of giving and receiving. I don't want to be a receiver. So the universe says, great, I will not give it to you, I'll give it to somebody else. It's funny, I recently heard somewhere, it's dramatic, but it's so good. The person says, my prayer to universe is, hey universe, if someone is not receiving what you're giving them, that's okay, give it to me, I'll take it. Right? So you don't want to live by this principle saying, if I don't work, I should not receive, because you've been working, you should be very happy to receive what you receive, right? And the reason this programming comes from, it comes from our childhood. Remember, you've been a good boy, and then all of a sudden you did something stupid and your parents are like, oh, you've been a bad boy, Johnny, so no candy for you. And that programming stays intact with us. So even if you make a tiny mistake, you feel you're unworthy of success. If you take one day easy in your business, in your work, wherever, even if you slacked for 1 hour, you feel, oh my God, I don't deserve to be successful. Why? It's the bad boy, no candy syndrome. So you want to get rid of that. Okay. Now here's the fun part to all this. We as humans, we are higher beings. We have intelligence. But most people, they use their intelligence to evaluate their potential rather than using their intelligence to make their potential come to use. Right? So most people, they use their intelligence to see how good they are. They start evaluating themselves. They have a checklist, good boy, bad boy. Did you work hard? Didn't work hard. Rather than using your intelligence for just evaluating yourself, you should use your intelligence to use your potential to move forward in life. Okay? If you ever heard this statement, giving is better than receiving. And I'm sure you would have heard this statement. By the way, I'm not saying don't give. I believe in giving, but there is always giving and receiving, goes hand in hand, right? But if you ever hear this statement that says giving is better than receiving, it must be coming from a guy who was asking for charity funds. That's the reason he's programming you saying, give me the money, because he needs to receive the money. Okay. So become an excellent receiver and you'll have more in your life. All right, let's move on to number 11. This is the 11th operating principle of rich. Rich, they get paid based on results. Middle class, they want to get paid on their time. You know why? Because middle class, we feel sometimes that, oh, as a middle class, if I just put in my time, I should receive something out of it. Okay, a lot of middle class, they believe in steady paycheck because it brings in security. Matter of fact, if you made $5,000 last month, and if this month your check from your job is $5,010, you will not feel comfortable. Though it is $10 more, you'll still feel a little different. Why? Because it's not steady. It's not the exact amount that you predicted. So middle class is tuned to security and steadiness. But security, it comes for a price. And the cost is wealth. And that security will just keep you in a place where you are, and you'll never look at building wealth. Because the first rule of wealth is this: don't have ceiling on your income. And guess what? Your job has a ceiling. Your job has a ceiling. So rich people, they never want to get paid just by putting in time and make money, because time is limited. You can only work 24 hours a day. They want to get paid based on the results that they create. And that's the reason you will see very few people will take a commission job. They would rather take a steady job. Though the commission could make them 3 times more money, but then they know they got to produce results to make the money, and nobody wants to do that. Right? So what can you do? I'm sure a lot of you are actually into your jobs. You can't quit your job, but what can you do? Maybe actually pick up a consulting job. Rather than just getting paid for your time, you actually get paid for the values that you bring to the company, right? Or maybe partner up with somebody in a business idea, right? You keep your job, but you start a business idea. Network marketing business, fantastic idea. Why? Because the infrastructure is in place for you. You just got to go and perform, and you get paid only for performance, not for putting in time, right? That's a big if and but with network marketing. Not everybody makes a lot of money, because most of the people, they are tuned to make money based on time, and network marketing does not pay you based on time. It only pays you if you create the results. Or you could actually become a coach. Let's say if you're really good at playing guitar, then maybe you could start taking guitar lessons. Like you could start giving guitar lessons, right? But you start getting paid for your results that you bring on table versus just for your time. Because if time is all you trade for money, you'll actually never get into wealth building. Number 12. Rich people, this is a good one. Rich people, they think both rather than either or. Okay. A lot of middle class, they live with this mentality saying, either I can be rich or I can be a pious person. That's incorrect, right? A lot of people, they think either I can be wealthy or I can be healthy. I have to sacrifice my health for the wealth. Oh, either I can be happy or I can be rich. Oh, either I can be pious or I can live a life of luxury. It's like, because we get told these things, right? You cannot eat the cake and have your cake as well. But rich people, they think in duality. They try to do both the things together. Hey, I want to be rich, but I also want to have a great time. So they work on things that they enjoy doing versus just working for another dime and dollar, right? So you start thinking both. You don't have to sacrifice your health to become wealthy. You can be healthy and you can be wealthy. So never pick either or option. You always go for this option of and. Why cannot I have both the things together, right? Why can't I be rich and also have a good family life, right? Number 13, rich, they focus on net worth and not just on the working income. Okay, rich people, they focus on their net worth, not just the inflow of the income, because inflow actually means nothing. So here's how a lot of rich people, they model their life. They make money, they save money, they invest money, they simplify their life, and then they spend money. But most people, what they do, most middle class, they make, they save, and they spend. And they spend thinking that they're going to simplify their life, but mostly they spend to acquire more liabilities, so their life actually becomes complex. So where do you start from? You can start doing some very basic little small things. Number 1, have an income account where your income comes in. Have a savings account. So your 10% goes into your saving. Have a third account called your freedom account. You can name it whatever you want to name it. Your investment account, freedom account, whatever account. But your 10% money goes there, but you're never going to use that money for spending. You will use that money for either educating yourself, buying a business, buying something that's going to produce cash flow for you. For me, that account meant I'm going to put my money away and I'm going to use it to go to some leadership seminars, buy some books, buy some podcasts so that I could invest into myself, right? So have a freedom account for yourself. Second, or the third account you should have is called fun account. And you put your 10% money there. And when I heard this concept, I was like, really? I don't need fun account. I'm just going to work hard and I'm going to sacrifice everything and then one day I'll be successful. But the problem with this is you and I, we have a logical mind and then we have a fun side of us, right? You can ignore your fun side only for so long. There will be a time your fun side says enough is enough. I got to have fun. You've not been going out for a good food for so many months. I got to just go out and eat. And that's when you start making bad choices and mistakes in your life. Versus you keep your logical mind in position, but you have something for fun as well. So have a fun account. Every month you got to do something fun for yourself. Every month you're putting in whatever money you have, 10% into a fun account, and you use that money. Maybe go for a good ride, maybe go for a massage, maybe go get some good food for yourself. Do whatever, do something fun, but do something fun every single month with that money, right? You got to have another account for your kids' education. It's not like, oh, I'll make a lot of money one day and then everything is going to be great. It's never going to be great, because the problem with that thinking is it defies the law of universe. Universe works with this: wherever the attention goes, the energy flows and the results they show. Wherever your attention goes, your energy flows and your results they show. If you don't pay attention to your financial status, your finances today, your energy is not going to go there, so your results will never show up in the financial areas of your life. Where is most people's attention these days? It's on politics. Most people's attention is actually on sports. Most people's attention is on all the other weird things, and they have no attention on their own financial well-being. And it's sad. That's the reason at age of 50, 60, they've missed the whole fantastic life just chasing their finances. Okay. Number 14, let's talk about this. Rich, they are very good managers of their money. And middle class, they are very good mismanagers of their money. Okay. Because rich, they understand money won't make you rich. It will just reveal you. It'll either reveal you as a great manager of money and you can multiply, or it'll reveal you as a person who's mismanager of money and you'll actually file bankruptcy one day. Okay. And again, if you cannot handle what you have today, what makes you think if we give you more, you'll actually be able to handle it? There's this funny story. A kid goes with his dad to get some ice cream. Kids, right? They see ice cream, they want to have ice cream. So dad takes him and Johnny gets a cone, and the ice cream guy gives him one scoop of ice cream. So Johnny was so elated, he was so happy, and he can barely walk. He's just like, he's so happy that he got ice cream. So while he's walking, he's not paying attention to the ice cream and the scoop of that ice cream sitting on the top of his cone, and he just completely wobbles and he drops the ice cream. And now he's crying. He was like, oh my God, my dad, I'm sorry, I'm going to take care of it. So the dad was nice. He takes him back to the ice cream man. He says, hey, give him another ice cream. And that's when Johnny, he sees a picture of 3 scoops on a cone. And he's complaining and he's like pleasing his dad, saying, please, I just need those 3 cones. Do you think 3 scoops on that cone? Do you think his dad is going to get him that 3 scoops of the cone on the cone? I don't think so, because Johnny could not even manage 1 scoop. If you can't manage 1 scoop of ice cream, what makes you think you can handle the 3 scoops of it? So that's how it works in your life. If you're a poor manager of money, you will just get stuck in making more money and not having enough left with you. So become a good manager of your money. Okay. Number 15, we got a few more to go and then we're going to call it a day for today. Rich, they make their money work hard for them. Middle class works hard for money. And it's a sad truth. A lot of us, we grow up in families where we say, oh, work hard, be a nice guy, and you're going to make a lot of money. But then when I saw rich people, they were the only ones who were playing golf on a Thursday afternoon. And a middle class guy was working hard. And it always made me question, why is that? I don't think so. You work hard on a golf course when you're playing golf, you're enjoying your time. But how come the guy who is actually working hard does not have things happening in his life? Because rich, they understood this. It's not just about the hard work. Of course, hard work is a common denominator. That's a foundation to your success. You cannot take hard work out, but that's not the only ingredient to become successful. You work hard, But what do you do with that hard work? Are you bringing in that money just to spend it, or are you using that money to create a leverage for yourself? Are you someone who's actually building systems, or are you someone who's just relying on one source of income? Right? Rich, they always look for this something called as passive income. Passive income. And they realize to build that passive income, they will have to work pretty hard. But once they build it, they don't even have to worry about it. So either they have a business working for them, or they put their money to work for them. And you know what? Most people, when they hear these terms like passive income, they go, oh yeah, those things, they don't work. Oh yeah, I would rather work hard. And it's not their problem, it's their mental conditioning. Because they never found this term called as passive income in their economics book in the school. If there was an economic class, first of all. No financial class talks about passive income. So because of the reason, if school didn't validate passive income, everybody thinks, oh, passive income is not the way to go. I just got to acquire 20 different degrees and go get a good job and make a whole lot of money just working a job. And the first part is true. You can get a lot of degrees and you can land a job. But the second part, saying I'll be just set after that, may not be true. And when I woke up to that rude awakening at age of 25, 26, it was not pretty. So I said, hey, I'm going to look at passive ways of making money. Why not? Right? So that was number 15. Rich, they make their money work for them, but middle class works hard for money. Right? Number 16. This is a good one. Rich, they act in spite of fear. But middle class, it stops the moment it encounters fear. Okay? Remember, we are talking about those two laws, the inner world of money and success and the outer world of money and success. Outer world is all your skills, all your proficiencies, how good you are at what you do. Inner world is things that you follow in your life, your blueprint about money. Where is your thermostat set for yourself? But the bridge between these two is the word called action. So the bridge between the outer and the inner is actually action. And a lot of people, they don't take action because they are afraid. They're afraid of people. They're afraid of failing. They're afraid of making themselves look like a fool. They are just not, they don't feel good about themselves. And that's where the rich people, they distinguish themselves. They have the fear, but they act in spite of the fear. Okay, so they manage their fear, which means you will never get rid of any fear in your life. You'll have fear, you'll continue to have fear. But courageous people are the one, or courageous men are the ones who actually act in spite of the fear. Okay, and here's a fun thing to remember. If you always do things that are easy, life is going to be hard for you. But when you tackle the hard things first, life is actually going to become easy for you. So start managing yourself in the terms of you should always be a little bit uncomfortable in what you're doing, because your uncomfort is actually what brings in growth for you. Okay, and the last one, which I thought resonates with all this, is rich. They're constantly learning and growing, but rest of the world knows it all. Okay, in my opinion, the most dangerous word that you can ever utter is I know that. I know that already. Matter of fact, stuff that I shared with you, I'm sure a lot of these things you already know. And maybe some of you are actually doing pretty good with your life, which is fantastic. That's when we know that you know. When your results they show, then we know that you know. But if you don't have results and you say I know it, then there's a big problem. Maybe actually you don't know it. Because if you know it, why would you not act on it? And that's where rich people, they're constantly in this frame of mind of learning something new. They will live with this principle. Either you can be right or you can be rich. You cannot be both. And when I say being right, means holding on to your old ways of doing things and saying things and working on things. So either you can be right or you can be rich. If you want to be rich, then you're a student of success for the rest of your life. Okay? And nobody starts perfect. Here's the fun part. Every master was once a disaster. Right? Somewhere you have to start. Somewhere you have to move forward from your fear. And you say, hey, you know what? If I made a big mistake today, I can learn from it and I can improve on it and I can continue to move forward. Okay? For you to have the best money, you have to become the best. You have to become the best in whatever you do. Be it your business that you run, be it some craft that you are fine tuning, whatever you're doing, you got to become best, because nobody pays for average. You never go to an average doctor. You never go to a show run by an average musician. You go to the top notch. Why? Because that's the one who attracts you. So for you to attract others to you, for you to attract the riches in your life, you got to become the number one in your life. Okay. So I hope I shared something of value with all of you. Those are the 17 operating principles that I've learned from others. I've read from this book. I've applied in my life from so many years. And some of these things I would have never encountered if it was only I was working a job. I'm so glad I launched my business when I was in my 20s, and I kept in that hustle of learning something new every single day. Matter of fact, this is first time for me doing a live Facebook live, and trust me, it's not comfortable. But you know what? I also understand in my uncomfort is where I create comfort for for myself, for my family, for everybody. So I'm willing to stay uncomfortable, right? So I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to spend some time with all of you. Look, hopefully I get to see some of you someday, and if not, hopefully this was a value add for all of you. For today, that's all I wanted to share with you. Bye bye for now.